Good morning, everybody, and happy Saturday morning. It is the 12th of August, and it is 9:56 a.m. East Coast time. And I want to wish all those beautiful babies born today and this date and time in the past a happy birthday to all of you, and many, many more. Um, I know I haven't said that in a while, so figured I'd put it out there. Um, Also, I'm going to go over a few announcements, all right, before we get started on today's show. Of course, we got to go over the copyright disclaimer because of all the bots and all the AI stuff nowadays telling me I can't say this, can't play that, and can't do this, can't do that. Basically, infringing upon our constitutional rights. So, but anyways, let's see here. This channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act. Okay. Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel, Nighthawk Studios, and all the podcasts declare fair use of any and all content. That's any and all content, including the music, under the Fair Use Act for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge and educational purposes only. Fair use is due to cover the music for the intro and the music for all of our advertising and our advertising needs. So, under Section 17, subsection 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. That is our disclaimer, and we are sticking to it. Okay? So, that being said, let me put something up here so I can talk about a little something. We have our news segment that's going to start um, Monday night at 11 o'clock. Excuse me, had a brain malfunction there for a second, but I just wanted to talk a couple things over with everybody today before we got started. There's a lot with the breaking news that we're going to be having starting Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern. And that will be let's see, 8 Pacific for those of you on the West Coast. So, anyways, some of the stories we have developing right now are the dogmen sightings in Texas, shapeshifter sightings, the weird behavior of wildlife attacking humans, whether it's sea life or real animals. Also, some other bizarre stuff like all the wildfires that are going on, and possible Yellowstone eruption and stuff like that. And we're even going to discuss a little bit about CERN, and that's kind of where I wanted my subject to go this morning too. To start, is CERN. I have gotten several reports lately of every time the Hadron Collider is in use, whether it's being tested or maintenance after a run, or whether it's just on, just to have it on, because they want to screw with all the dimensions, and all the parallel universes and all the times, time levels and lines and all that. So they got to screw with it all because they're super tech geeks, and ultra rich people are the ones that think they're in control when they're actually not. And they're going to be finding that out very soon. Trust me, they will be finding that out very soon. But anyways, a lot of the sightings of UFOs happen around CERN whenever CERN's in operation. And I did some further research, and CERN is 26.72 miles in diameter. Okay. That's a fairly big area in diameter. But, and you can see from the picture, you can see, basically what it looks like when it's running, that's pretty much the flow of things, atom wise, molecules and stuff like that in rotation. Kind of reminds me of Atlantis, to tell you the truth. But anyways, that's another story. CERN is currently in the works of developing another hadron collider. Okay, now granted, CERN isn't the only hadron collider we have in our world. Okay, there are several of them that we don't know about. In probably every not third world country, and probably some third world countries where we know we can power ourselves in there and push the little people around. And I say we, what I mean by shadow government, or the scientist elitist. But that being said, they're making one right now in Switzerland that is four times larger than this one. It's going to be about 104 miles in diameter. 104 miles. What in the heck are they opening? What are they playing with in Switzerland? What are they playing with? What are they planning on opening? Where do they plan on letting the public know what's going on? Because obviously they're not. The bigger the collider, you would think the bigger the problem. So I don't know what to expect with that one, folks, but they're talking about it being operational probably 2027. And, that's awful fast. So that kind of tells me that maybe, just maybe, they actually started working on it about the same time that they built the smaller one. And are using the smaller one as a distraction, let's say, okay, from the truth. Kind of what NASA does, whenever they launch a rocket. Look at our pretty rocket going up into the sky and bouncing off the dome, the firmament. Yeah, look at that. Oh, pretty rocket. But don't look over here, because you'll see our secret, our secret space projects and stuff. Yeah. Yep. Oh, anyways, but yeah, I was just kind of curious at what y'all might think about that. 104 miles in diameter is going to be the new size of the Hadron Collider in CERN, that CERN is going to be doing. So to me, that's pretty scary, because they've already screwed up enough timelines and quantum entangled all kinds of crap, to the point where we don't know whether we're coming or going anymore. You all know, you've seen it. Some people call it the Matrix. Some people call it the Mandela effect. Like did the old bald banker guy in Monopoly have the oracle in his eye? The little eyeglass thingy, and like the Mr. Peanuts character. Some people remember him having it, and I do. I'm one of them. And others don't. Also, there are several others, like the Berenstain Bears, that kind of stuff. Now it's called Bernstein or whatever. So, it's like, what's next? Is yellow going to be purple? Is blue going to be green? Is black going to be white? I don't know. It's getting to the point where it's getting very, very screwy, to say the least. Okay. So, anyways, we're waiting for Dennis and G to get on here. Um, let me know if you all can hear me in the chat. I didn't do a mic check this morning, so good morning, Ed. Good to see you. Ozzy Sue, good to see you. Celia, good to see you. Let's see here. Yep, I don't think they're coming on. All right, let me send out the invite again. I'll send out the invites again and we'll see what happens.
Hello. What day is it and where am I at?
All right, give me just 1 second, folks, so I can get this straightened out. And there's Dennis. All right. Let me get G sent out again.
I said, what day is it? What day is it and where am I at?
All right, we're all good there. Yeah. Your future's so bright, you got to wear shades there, busy man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when I got my foster grandson, I become Dr. Johnny Fever. Remember him? Dr. Johnny Fever.
Yeah, I remember Johnny Fever. Yep, I remember Johnny Fever. Yep. Good times.
I got my other glasses on now, not the foster grands. I can see. Oh, okay, I can see myself now. Okay. How you doing? Hey, I got a good plan, okay? I got this for everybody out there listening today, okay? And I want y'all to listen to this close, okay? This is a brilliant plan here. Okay, what I need for everybody out there to go buy me a lottery ticket next week, okay? Everybody buy me a lottery ticket, and if we win, I will definitely give you half, okay? Great plan. So let's get it going, okay?
Honestly, that's probably the way we should play the lottery, is have the, to help out one another that way. That's what Tracy and I always said, that if we ever hit the lottery real big, we would share it with everybody that we knew. So,
I tell you, I said that if I could win 100 million, there'll be some millionaires when I get done. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Spread it around.
Yep, I can think of at least 24 names right now off the top of my head. U G, Ozzy Sue, Tombstone. Let's see. Rosie, Juno, Karen Peterson, Penny Van, Darcy's Wiki, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Stephen Rivas, he's another one. Yeah, the list would go on. I mean, it would be endless. It really would. And then not to mention, other, family members and stuff too, being set up too. So, but
yeah, the first thing I'd do is I'd get you and Tracy a big one of them big motor homes and maybe an F-150 to pull that thing. Let you hit the road. There you go. That'd be it, wouldn't it?
It's always been our dream before I die to actually get on the road and just go visit everybody that we see and talk to every day on here. Obviously, I can't drive to Australia, because if I could, if the government would let me use their secret tunnel systems, I could. But
well, I got your parking place out here ready. When y'all get here.
But yeah, that's one thing that we have always had a dream of doing, is going around and seeing, going down to visit you, and doing some paranormal investigations down there together, and then going to see Robbie Rains and several other people down that way. We've got some homesteading friends and family that are down in South Carolina too that we would like to see and go visit. Then we'd like to go out to the Midwest and visit with G and Jane and several other people out that way. Maybe swing in and see Dave Pilatus and a few other people, and then
make a tour.
End up on the
Have
West
a tour.
Coast and just visit everybody that we talk to every day. And
we call it the William Nighthawk tour. There you go. You can get about in.
Yeah, the big purple bus.
Oh, it's there's our friend Grandmaster G has arrived. Everyone, the silence in the building, please.
What's his hat say? His hat says cat. Okay.
Well, me and William here, we're just dreaming some dreams this morning here about winning the lottery and all that. But there you go. I just want to be half as rich as Elon Musk. Okay, is that asking too much?
I think anybody would want to be half as rich as Elon Musk.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Hey, I'm really excited about your news program. I sent you a news item just a few minutes ago on the on your messenger. You might want to check it out. They found some very interesting vampire graves in Poland. You might want to put that on your. I'm interested. Really, we really do need some kind of paranormal news show thing going on. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm still looking for a co-host. For it, but it'll come.
Well, if you're gonna be on late at night at 11 o'clock, I could handle that for you. Towards the end of the day, we might look at that if you want to.
Okay, yeah,
that's a co-host for your news. I can handle that late night thing would be good because that'd be after doing my writing and all that. I could probably handle that. Yes, sir. If you want to.
Yeah. And it's only going to be once a month, anyways. Too. It's not going to be
every
week.
Yeah.
Because we have to build up the story, the story intake and stuff, and the news intake, and then talk about it. So
I'll tell you what, that's me. I have always been interested in journalism from since I was. Matter of fact, my high school ring's got journalism on it. I have been interested in journalism for many, many years. Like Carl Koschak was my mentor, by the way, and so that's up my alley.
Yeah,
my cup of tea.
And G's going to be our reporter on the ground, giving up the commentary for all the UFO sightings and all the mysterious stuff in the sky. We're going to get him his own little microphone and his own little, microphone that says Midwest Night Watchers medallion on the mic, so when he holds it, they can see the emblem. Yeah.
With a microphone, let's go back to G here. He's on the ground and see what he's got to say.
Yeah.
This just coming in.
Yeah. Breaking news. Congress still doesn't know anything.
Yep, exactly. Well, I've got a lot of good news stuff that I'm actually working on, but there's so much of it right now that I'm almost getting overwhelmed with it. But I'm going to be talking about CERN and about about Yellowstone, about the wild animals.
Oh yeah, since you mentioned Yellowstone, I'm gonna say this right quick. I was looking at a map the other day. When Yellowstone goes, and when it does, it's going to be a worldwide cataclysm. Okay, and I was looking at the ash map. You can get an ash map online. If I get a copy, I'll send it to you. Where we're at here on the East Coast, we'll have between 3 and 4 inches of ash fall. Think about that.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Well, it'll probably set off all the fault lines around the whole world.
Oh, it will. Well, I'll tell you what we will have. We will have, you remember the old term, a nuclear winter? Remember that years ago? We will actually have a volcanic winter.
Yeah.
And it might last for several years.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, because they talk about the little ice age.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, did you guys know that in the last year that Yellowstone has had over 800 earthquakes in the
Oh yeah.
last year? In the last month, in the last 30 days, over 200 of them. And we're
That's
talking,
scary.
yeah, we're talking anywhere from a 0.2 to a 4.7 is what that
And
looking at.
here's a biblical tag for you on that, okay? Because I'm interested in biblical prophecy. In the book of Revelation talks about a darkness falling upon the world. The darkness. Would that not be the perfect kind of darkness? Think about it.
Yeah.
And that has happened before, back in I think 1802 or somewhere back in there, that there was a volcano and actually blew a whole island up in the Caribbean, and the ash got in the air, and there was no summer that year. No summer.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's pretty scary when you think about it. I mean, that could really mean that could set everybody back into the days of the caveman.
Stone Age, yeah.
And it's that big of a deal. And I know that there were threats and stuff made by China, I think it was, threatened us with shooting a nuclear bomb into Yellowstone or some crap like that. And how just to destroy us. But if they did that, they wouldn't just destroy the United States, they would take themselves out too, because it would affect the entire globe.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they just, I don't know. It's amazing. It's literally amazing. The sheer
And
stupidity.
they've already said it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the scary thing. Think about that. We're living on borrowed time, folks.
Yep. I want to put a special thank you out to Aussie Sue for being here and moderating today. And thank you, Ray, for coming in. I appreciate
She
seeing
is
you guys.
invaluable. She helps us out in many ways. Yeah.
Yep. So our whole family looks out for us, our extended family. So that is definitely true. But yeah, getting back on that subject of the ash cloud and the ash going across, I don't think there will be any place definitely within our connected landmass, which goes to North Pole and to South America. I don't think there'll be any place within that landmass that won't be affected by ash. When Yellowstone
The only place they said that ash will go everywhere, definitely. The only place they said that might bounce back quicker than the rest of the world will be south of the equator, and we're talking about deep south of the equator.
Like
might possibly, but it's still gonna be a worldwide thing. It's worldwide.
Yeah. And it would still, and even if it didn't affect the entire worldwide, it will still affect at least 75%, which would be enough to make, like you said, the temperatures of the surface of the Earth to drop drastically and be a nuclear winter. It really would, and that would mean a lot of people freezing to death. So.
Well, that happened, like I said earlier, back in the 18th century. I think it was the year Frankenstein, the novel Frankenstein, was written. It was during that year that there was no summer. They said that there was like frost in August on some of the crops that they were trying to grow. People, thousands, starved to death just because this one small island in the Caribbean where this volcano blew up. The world, and we've talked about this before, William and Geryl. The world is a living thing. It's a living organism. It's what this planet we're on is a living thing. Okay, it's always constantly moving, shifting, doing different things. And when something like that threatens a whole planet, it threatens us. It threatens all of civilization. Civilization, and I talked about this on my show, Demonology Today, the other week. This whole civilization we have is suspended by a very thin, fragile thread. And it's not going to take anything to cut that thread. We're in big trouble, you know?
Yeah. Celia says she lives in Lake Tahoe, and when Mount St. Helens erupted, that they had ash all over. So, and that's quite a distance away from Mount St. Helens. So, and that was just a small eruption. That was a side blast eruption. It wasn't a straight up in the air eruption. It was a side blast eruption. So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. The ground, the caldera in Yellowstone has raised up over a foot already in the last year. So it's either building up pressure or it's building up the molten lava underneath to a volume where the earth is rising up. So yeah, it's amazing. And I think to this day, Yellowstone is still shut down. So I think they shut majority of the park down. So
also, they're working on theories, and of course, that's science. You know how science is, but they're working on theories to try to relieve the pressure of that, maybe by drilling cores and all that stuff. But it sounds to me like they probably make it worse. I don't know. That's like playing around. It's like playing around with a soap bubble. If you touch it, it's gonna pop. You know, that's just the way that goes, and that's what that sounds like to me.
Well, simple science would dictate, and I'm sure you guys have done this in the past. If you've ever tried to open up a radiator cap on a car that's overheated while it's hot, you don't do that.
Not a good idea.
Hot. Yeah. So,
I don't even think Old Faithful is on time anymore. I think that's all.
I seen a guy do that one time, William. I seen a guy do that. It blew the hood off of his car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You could be seriously injured doing that. But the pressure, we don't realize, just like they were talking about, that sub that went down, at the Titanic thing, we don't realize the pressure underwater. And the pressure is a very interesting thing. We're surrounded by it. We live in it day in and day out. We couldn't survive without it to a certain extent. But too much pressure or too little pressure, got to have it just right. Just like oxygen content, you got to have it just right. You get in trouble if you don't.
Yep. And speaking, like Geryl said, the geyser, Old Faithful, blasting off more times than usual. There has actually been 2 or 3 more geysers that have actually showed up out of the blue venting. So, and one of them hasn't gone off in over 200 years. And it just recently went off. So that tells you
that's bad. That's a bad sign.
Yeah, that is a very bad sign. So, yep. I don't know, guys. It's a very, very scary subject when you think about it. And all the millions of people it's going to affect immediately. And all the probably hundreds of thousands of people that would probably die within the immediate area of it when it blasts. Because you're talking, that area of the caldera is 40 miles in diameter. Now, over a 40-mile diameter area, you can probably multiply that 4 times for the immediate blast zone. So anybody living within, 120 miles of the caldera is going to probably be fried to death. And that's
be
sad.
Dead immediate death. Yeah.
So,
That would be bad. I tell you what, we don't know what's coming. There's going to be a lot of bad things ahead of us, I'm afraid. I don't want to sound like a down person, always gloom and doom, kind of a thing. But we do have, I think, some interesting times ahead of us, and they won't be interesting in a good way either, unfortunately. But that's like I said the other day, people of all faiths whatever your faith or belief is, across the world, they all agree on one thing. Okay, they agree that something is coming. Something's going to
Yep.
happen.
Yep. True. Very true. Very true. And then you couple that with all the weird other stuff that's going on. Like the fire in Maui right now. They say
Oh
that
yeah.
the winds from that Category 5 hurricane are what really escalated it. But you have people jumping in the ocean to avoid getting burned up in a fire. I mean, that's just terrible.
Here's the bad thing, William. You can jump in the ocean, but you can't get away from the smoke. And you could
Right.
die of smoke inhalation in the ocean, and drown. That'd be it. That is. I know that'd be the first thing I would think about, getting in the water, definitely. But it might not help you in certain circumstances with the wind blowing, smoke, and all that stuff.
Right.
It's like a firestorm. You've heard that old expression of firestorm, and that's what it was, really. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much more plainer Mother Earth can say that she's pissed off at mankind. And that's pretty much what it's come down to. I think she's a little fed up with the abuse that she's sustained over the several hundred years or so, or 1,000 years of being abused. There's only even animals are smart enough not to defecate where they eat. Unfortunately, humans aren't that smart. They
We've not been good stewards.
Right.
We've abused and misused this planet to a great extent, and we will pay for it eventually. Definitely.
Yep. And I don't know if that's maybe why CERN is in so much operation now, and why they're wanting to build a bigger, 4-time bigger hadron collider than what they currently have, which would make it about 104 miles in diameter. 104 miles in diameter. That's a huge. I mean, you could almost stick 3 of the Yellowstone supervolcano calderas inside that. So
here's another thing that's so big. How many days would that take you to walk that? Think about it. It would take me a long time. It take me quite a while to walk that. Definitely, if I live that long to do
it. I got me some wheels now, man.
Oh, okay.
I'll just get me a big dog and latch up to it, and
there you go.
I'll have a little chariot.
There you go. Yeah, a little sled team, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I wonder what they're trying to do by increasing the size. I mean, what's their next experiment? I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, it was the God particle, but now what is it?
Yeah,
now it's not that. That's what they say, Geryl, but that's just their excuse. They're playing around with vortexes. They want to create a black hole. They want to create a doorway and portals or whatever it is. That's what it's all about. It's just, here's the thing about, and listen, I was in publicity, okay, for a long time. I was in marketing, and it is a game of illusion, okay? That's what it is. It's a game of illusions. Smoke and mirrors, that's what it is. They will tell you one thing when they're really doing something else, because that's the way they hold their secrets, play their cards up to close to the vest, That's the way they operate. They're not going to tell you the real truth. That's the sad part of it all,
Yeah, true, very true, very, very true. And the one thing that I've actually seen them report is their connection to the satanic aspect of it. So they have this. I don't know why science has to have this infatuation with the satanic side of things, with dark magic. whether it's voodoo or
It always
hoodoo
has.
or,
That
you
goes back.
know,
That goes back to alchemy, William. That goes way back to alchemy. There's a
mhm.
big, long history of that with science, dark science, as I like to call it, because it is dark. It's not a good thing. It's not. It's not geared to. I mean, think about how many cures for diseases have they come up with lately? Not that many. Okay, you can't think of any. I can't either. Uh, I mean, come on. They're not doing the right things the right way, and it's all geared to something else. And you and I both know. I think Gerald realizes this as well, that a lot of dark magic, evil stuff, whatever you want to call it, the darkness thing, is geared toward opening doorways, spiritual doorways to obtain power to do the things. And that's what this CERN is doing, only doing it in a scientific kind of a way, an alchemist type way. That's the
if
connection. Yeah.
yeah, if I could teach humanity one thing from what I've learned dealing with magic, with real black magic and real white magic and all that, and now with the Christianity faith, um, is that I would want to teach mankind that each and every person has that special spiritual strength within them. Okay. And, that's what they call our soul. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Our soul is so closely connected to the universal laws and the universe itself and to God and the creator, um, and everything else paranormal and supernatural. That is why human beings can be possessed by demons.
Oh yeah.
They have because of the soul, and because you can't possess a soulless object. Um,
Uh-huh.
it has to have some kind of energy. Okay.
Well,
The
that's faith.
Chinese and the
That,
Japanese call
that's
it chi. So yeah,
that's the other name for faith. Really, that's what it basically is.
yeah.
Jesus talked about that kind of faith, the size of the grain of the seed of a mustard, uh, would move a mountain. That's the power you're talking about there, but it has to come through in a good way and not a bad way. There's a right way and a wrong way to do everything in this universe. Okay, and black magic is the wrong way to tap
Mhm.
into this power. And faith is the good way. Faith in your creator, your relationship with your creator activates it in a good way. Uh, that's just, that's just par for the course. Matter of fact, it's funny you should bring that up because in my next hunting the shadows, I call it defense against the darkness. I'm going to be telling people how to safeguard themselves and their families against some of this stuff that's going on in the world
Mhm.
around us. And there are certain spiritual concepts and things that can be done that you can do to safeguard yourself. And I think we need to talk more about this. We need to tell people about this. And in order to help preserve themselves and their families and their way of life and just their own being, you know. And like I told them last week on the program, you are the first line of defense. You are, not somebody else. Don't depend on somebody else. That's like we used to say about, and I've been in law enforcement, no matter how much we wanted to get there to help you, we were only human. We could only make it in time to save you. You are the first line of defense. Don't depend on the cops. Don't depend on the government. Don't depend on anybody. You've got to depend upon yourself. That's what you're going to have to rely on.
Yep.
That's just the way that goes.
Yep. I put up the your Hunting the Shadows podcast information as you were talking, so
Thank you.
that way people could see it, on the bottom of the screen.
Uh-huh.
So, um, yeah, the whole thing, the whole connection. I don't know. it rubs me the wrong way knowing that CERN is up to that, cracking the proverbial Pandora's box open, if you know what I mean, by opening a portal to some supernatural dimension, whether you call it hell or not. It certainly would be hell on earth, and which is kind of what we have right now, if you think about it, with all that's going on. It's almost like we have shifted dimensions or timelines or something into a parallel universe that was worse off than the one we came from. So it's really amazing to me the amount of just sheer stupidity that some of these CERN scientists have with when they're dealing with and manipulating the entire world that we live in. I mean, and what kills me about this whole thing too, guys, is the fact that, I guess kills is a bad term to say. What gets my goat about the whole CERN thing is, did any of us get asked whether we cared what they did to our world that we live in? Did they come to our door and ring our doorbell and say, "Oh, hey, Mr. Nighthawk, we're here to, let you know that CERN's going to be, building a hadron collider, 4 times bigger than the one they have now, and we just, we wanted to get your permission to do tests and stuff with it, in the future. Is that okay with you?" I would have said, hell no. So, I mean, they don't
That's
care.
why they don't ask.
They don't care about. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care
Yeah.
whatsoever, and that makes them pure evil, as far as I'm concerned. So, you want to see hell? Well, you'll be seeing hell one day, buddy. If you don't wake up and smell the coffee
They're
on
gonna
the
be there.
brewer. Yeah.
I was like that.
So,
I noticed, a lot of people out there have seen it. That movie Constantine. You remember Constantine, which is one of my favorite movies that
yeah.
Mr. Reeves did. Actually, hell was really here, but it was another dimension. You just couldn't see it, and that may be very, very close to what may actually be going on here. It's just in that one step removed from where you're at. And actually, when you see hell, it was hell here, it was here now, but it was just a different reality. But it was like you could see the cars and the buildings and everything and all that. And that to me is very thing. I want to tell you this, and I've said this before years ago, uh, studying the Bible and other older records. You have to wonder, like places like heaven and hell, purgatory, and all these other places are really just another term for another dimension. They're just they're in another sort of dimension. That does not surprise me a bit. That's what you're dealing with here. And these idiots at CERN, they don't realize that they could be opening portals to these dimensions, letting stuff in. And I remember that very strong image in the book of Revelation about the bottomless pit. Now, think about a bottomless pit. That sounds like what? A door to another dimension, does it not? That's what we're talking about here,
Yeah.
folks. They're talking about opening this stuff up.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. Exactly.
not good.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know about anybody. I don't know about anybody else, but man, it's just to think that what they could do with what technology they have without even our permission. I mean, because they share this world with us. They don't own us and they don't own the world. So whoever gave them permission to mess with the entire world, they didn't read them. They didn't check all their emails because nobody gave them permission to do it. So, to my knowledge,
It's power. It all comes down to
yeah,
power.
it's
I said this to somebody the other day, William. The most addictive thing in the whole universe, I believe, beyond cocaine, beyond heroin, beyond meth, every bit. The most addictive thing out there is what? Power. I believe it's worse than any of it.
Yeah. And I was talking with Carlito last night about the whole Project Bluebeam thing and all that, and the clones and stuff like that have been seen and all that, and what happened with Jamie Foxx and all that. Um, and I watched the movie that Jamie Foxx was in before he had that medical emergency out of the blue. Was a movie about cloning, okay, and how basically the dark skinned people and the brown skinned people and the light brown skinned people, indigenous cultures around the world, were possibly being cleansed from society as a whole because of cloning. They would keep certain ones around to keep it interesting to do their research and their studies on it and their testing. And the white race was underground in this town or city area, and they had cameras everywhere monitoring the African American community, the dark skin community, and the brown skin communities, to see their reaction to certain products that they put chemicals in, advertising music, advertising commercials, makeup. They put chemicals in makeup, and they constantly, Hollywood constantly sends out these little information bits that I've noticed, because not long ago there was a movie called Batman that came out that had oh um, oh God, I can't remember his name now as the Joker. Oh wow,
Heath Ledger. Is
I
that the one
drew a
you're talking about?
blank. Yeah, where they put the chemical in the makeup for all the women and stuff to use, and the guys that wore makeup, and they got that smile like the Joker. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody said, "Oh, love that smile." Well, that's pretty much what they're doing right now with products. Why do you think Bill Gates wants to control the food monopoly to what the poor people eat? Okay. Rule number one: they don't want anybody around that they can't make money on. They can't make money on poor people. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, case in point, look at Michael Jackson. Look at Michael Jackson. Let's say he had a skin condition. I don't believe that. What went on with Michael Jackson? Look at him from when he was like 14 years old to when he was his 30s or something. It doesn't even look like the same person. I know he had plastic surgery or something evidently done to him, but how can you change someone that radically? I mean,
yeah,
that's just not good. That's just, I don't know. There's something very bizarre about that.
Well, look at the celebrities that have
why didn't
all of a sudden just paused. Just like you saw Mitch McConnell the other day when that lady came up and tapped his elbow. It's just almost like she reset him or stopped him or something. I don't know what was going on with that.
Yeah.
There's some freaky stuff going on,
exactly.
And we talked about that before.
Too. Exactly. I saw exactly what you said.
We talked about that before with the mask and all this other stuff that's going on. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of genetic mutation going on that was instigated by a lot of this stuff too, by the way. A lot of people, you don't hear too much talk about this genetic mutation, but they've got an AI program right now that can go into the womb and genetically maneuver what they want in that child before it's even hardly a fetus. Okay. What we're talking about is the ability to create a superior race of human beings. Think about that a minute. That's scary. And Star Trek,
Yeah.
the old series,
Yeah,
kind of touched upon that. You remember? They call it the genetic
Yep,
wars.
yep. I agree with Ozzy Sue. Yep, I agree with Ozzy Sue on her statement about dark skinned people have always been targeted. Yeah, indigenous people too. And the reason being, okay, there is a reason why the Mormons think that Native Americans are the lost tribe of the Israelites and that sinned and their skin turned dark, okay, red. For them to have that belief that, Native people are the lost tribe of the Israelites is kind of odd. Especially now that they're finding out all the hieroglyphics and stuff from Egypt that are over here now, being found in the U.S. in the Grand Canyon, especially. But anyways, my whole
no,
purpose of saying
you got to look at it this way too, William. You got to look at it this way. The indigenous peoples are the perfect ones to experiment on. See what I'm saying? They pick out the perfect classes they want to go after, the classifications they want to deal with.
They want to get rid of the dark-skinned, light brown-skinned, red-skinned people. They don't want them anymore. You know why? Because they're trying to delete the bloodlines of Christ. Okay?
Exactly. And here's one other thing. They want that one world government. Okay. Eventually, they want to bring everybody together to rule like the sheep we've always talked about. You got a flock of sheep. Look at them. They all look alike. They all act alike. You can control them better that way. That's why some people used to say, here's the thing, and I've heard old timers say this: you can control sheep much better than goats because goats have a different mindset than sheep. That's just the way it goes. And that's what they're dealing with here. Okay, they want to make everybody one race, one world, one government. That's it.
Yep, and this plan has been in existence for a long time. I'm not talking just recently they decided to do this. This plan has been in existence for a very, very long time. In fact, for them to go ahead and purposely try to wipe out the bloodline of Jesus Christ,
and that goes back to the lady that first started the family planning thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
She was all for that. Yeah.
And that's the whole purpose. And in that movie that Jamie Foxx starred in, it was a white race that was underground, that was trying to experiment on how to manipulate the mind through music, through drugs, through pharmaceuticals, through food, chemicals in the food, you name it, everything.
And look back in history, who was the experts on that, William?
Yeah.
The Nazis. They were great. They were doing some big stuff with that.
That's my other coin. That's my other flip side to the coin, guys. Is I'm flipping that coin now. Okay, I have always said, and this is from my own father's mouth, okay, who was a World War II veteran attached to General Patton's 4th Armored Division, United States Army, okay, and knew Patton personally, and Patton liked my dad because he won money on my dad a lot, during boxing matches and stuff, because my dad was the middleweight boxing champion of the military during World War II. And he was also Patton's mechanic for his tanks. Anyways, make a long story short, my dad and we used to theorize, when he was alive, that, nobody won World War II, that it was just a mutual agreement to stop because they realized that everybody had this secret technology in their grasp from other, alien crafts that have crashed and stuff over time, and even alien races, and how they felt that they should share the technology and the wealth from that. So that's why they instituted Operation Paperclip and brought all the Nazi scientists into the United States and the UK and Poland and Switzerland, and they got everybody involved in this. And then now it's the UN that has taken that precedence and is making it uniform across the entire globe, making it mandatory that all countries have one world government and one world religion. Okay.
Well, William, everybody that came out of World War II, my father included, they all said, no, we didn't finish. We didn't finish the job. We didn't really finish the job because they stopped it, like you said. They stopped where it was. And my father, including like your father, believed that Hitler lived. He did not die in that bunker. Okay. Most people that come out of
Exactly.
that war believe that. They believe that because of the things they knew and the things they saw. Um, and
Yep.
I think Patton knew that, and that might probably cost him his life. By the way,
Yep.
Remember when they
Yep.
stopped Patton
yeah,
from going forward? Patton wanted to
uh,
finish it, and they wouldn't let him.
yep.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
That's
I
true
think
about
General
what
Patton
Ossie
he knew.
What Ossie Sue
Yeah.
saying there with the Egyptian hieroglyphics in Australia. Oh yeah, they found them in South America, but they will not admit it.
Yeah.
This world is a lot smaller than the science wants you to believe. Okay, people. The science
Yep.
is holding
Yep.
back a lot of knowledge things that they don't want us to know. Okay, just like the
Yep.
giants and all this other stuff, they don't want us to know. And I have heard that there have been hieroglyphics found in the Grand Canyon. Okay, that goes and if you look at those pictures that William had of that cavern in there, that looks Egyptian. Look at it. It basically looks very Egyptian, very alien too. By the way, it has an alien Egyptian look to it to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. You're talking this one, right?
Hmm. Yeah. That is bizarre looking to me. I mean that although it has a
Yep.
tinge of the Egyptian to it, that looks just downright alien. I don't. I've seen I've studied over the years, William, a lot of the Mayan and Aztec and Egyptian and Sumerian and Babylonian and all. I've never seen anything like that. That's wow, wow looking.
Yeah. That is. It reminds me of the alien off of the movie Aliens, actually, and a
Hmm.
combination of the Predator with the way
Yeah.
the head is almost the helmet. Um,
Mhm.
but the one to the far right upper corner, where I have the barcode or whatever,
Yeah.
the scan code there blocking its face, that shape of
Mhm.
the face looks a little different than the others. The
Yeah, well,
eyes
it
look a
could be
little
the
bigger.
way. It could be the camera angle too. You can't really tell. It could be, but the nose is a little bit different looking on it. If you look at comparing it to the other, it's just maybe the way the camera angle is. I'd love to see that in person.
Yeah,
That'd
so
be
would I.
interesting.
Unfortunately, the Smithsonian is taking it over, and you know what happens when the Smithsonian takes things over,
Things
in the
disappear.
name of the government. Yeah, things
Uh,
disappear and get locked up and archived, so they say. Um, in
and
fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't isn't locked up already somewhere. Um, that they probably put iron doors on that area to keep people out with security there.
or they just cover it up completely. So that's
Yeah.
just something we don't know anything
The
about
guy
that.
that
You know,
the guy that took
yeah.
that picture got in there. He was the one that found it, and he took the pictures. He said that they did confiscate his camera, but they didn't take all
Uh,
the film. He had the roll of film in his pocket, So they took
That's
the
a
camera
standard.
and all the film in the camera.
That's a standard rule, William. If you're taking pictures of stuff like that, you take a few pictures and change out. You change cards or whatever. Keep it going that way. That way you can you might come out. Well, Kolchak taught me that. By the way, you might come out with that some images in the end on that. That's the way
One
I would
picture
play
is
it,
better than none.
definitely. You know, but
Yeah,
now it's
one
not a
picture
roll
is
of
better than
film.
none.
It's a card now. You know.
Yeah. But it's just it's stuff like that that the Smithsonian and everybody is trying to hide from people, and it burns me up. It really does.
But there
You
have
got
been rumors
people
for years.
reacting.
There have been rumors for many, many years that there have been interesting things found in the Grand Canyon. And here's another thing. What is it? It's a what? A national park. Okay, and there's some freaky things go on around national parks, and you have to wonder why. Why? What's that connection? Because look, that is the perfect place that they can contain things, cover it up, whatever they need to do, because they're in complete control over what? The national park. Okay, that's just the way it goes.
Yep.
And I've talked to park rangers many times, and they are not allowed to talk about things like the paranormal or anything like that going on. I remember one time I cornered one. She was a cute little park ranger too, in a park in South Carolina. It was on the Fort Sumter. Matter of fact, that's where it was. Fort Sumter, and I said, "Listen, you got to tell me. I know there's some paranormal activity going on out here. Tell me about it, you know." And she said, "Oh, I can't. We're not allowed to talk about that. But what do you think?" So she basically kind of answered my question, a roundabout way to do it. But they're not. They're
Yeah.
absolutely probably they have to sign, non-disclosure forms. They probably do, just like in the military. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And they're
And,
hushed
and
up.
you,
They're not allowed to talk. Who knows what's going on in these national parks? You know.
yeah. Well, they weren't started for their beauty. Okay, they weren't started to preserve the land as they lied to people and told people. They were started to hide things. Okay, whether it
Yep.
was mistakes or whether it was history that they've lied about, they're hiding things in these national parks. That's all it is. And the
You
national
always
park,
gotta. If it don't fit the narrative, that's what they got to go with. See, that's what they're good at, covering up stuff. And like I say, that the national park is the perfect controlling thing. There, they can control it. They can cap it when they want to, and watch it completely. And here's another thing: why are so many people disappearing in national parks? You know, something about that's going on too. You know.
Well, there's a reason why they don't
yeah,
let the general public in certain parts of the parks.
Uh, yep.
They're hiding something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Ozzy, I'll have to get the information on that, Andre, to search those pictures. So I've got it written down somewhere. I have to go through my files and find it. Um, I'm going to expose it here in the news broadcast Monday night. So I won't release any information until then, but I will release it. And so everybody can do their own research. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing the amount of stuff that shadow government and is helped out with NASA and Smithsonian and several other agencies of the federal government to hide the real truth from mankind, from humankind. So, and
That's what
it's
I've said
amazing.
about
We're
them
finding out
before,
more.
William. That's what we've said about them before. They are enemies of truth and light. You know, they're not. They're
Yeah,
not going to tell us the truth. They're the enemies of that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's the bad thing.
yeah. True. Very, very true. Very true. I don't know, G. What do you think?
I think it's just one big conspiracy. I mean, the government's always lied to us. They always try to control the narrative, and now you have the media falling right in footstep with them. So they keep the information from us, and then when we do find out the truth, they never really come out and acknowledge it. They just kind of move on, like, that never happened.
Well, Geryl, that's the bad thing about this. The government has weaponized everything. They've weaponized the media against us. They've weaponized politics against us. They've weaponized the educational system against us. They've weaponized even religion against us. Where's it going to stop? They're even weaponizing companies and corporations against us. It's not going to stop. Yeah. They weaponize everything. We're not just talking about something secret kind of a thing. They weaponize everything. Look, they weaponize the IRS. Why do the IRS need so many weapons? Think about that a minute. And all the guns and all the ammunition that they give them, they don't actively go out like law enforcement. That's not, that's not part of it. But see, they weaponize everything that they do.
That just means that we're more powerful than we think we are, because they're trying to control us and trying to use all the like you said, weaponize everything against us. But we're still here. We're still going strong. We're still finding out, and I think that's what they're afraid of. We're starting to band together.
Yep. And that's what we've talked about before, mentioning that, what the paramedic says there. I don't doubt it one bit that cryptids are not being weaponized. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. They're at least being genetically experimented on and made into some kind of a super soldier type of a program. So that I could almost guarantee, because every leading military country in existence today has tried to manipulate the genetics to make a super soldier, from Russia to China to the UK to United States, So
goes back to Nazis and goes back to Hitler. But look, it even goes further back than that. Do you know that back in the slave trade days, back in the 17th and 18th century, they bred Irish slaves with black slaves because they think they could make better slaves. So they were fooling around with genetics then, okay? I mean, this stuff goes way back, folks. It doesn't just start with Hitler, okay? Man has been trying to manipulate mankind itself from day one. You go back. I'm not making this up. This is real history stuff. You don't hear about it in school, though. You don't hear about the real history because they don't want you to know about it.
Like in the old movies, the old sci-fi movies, where the monster turns on the scientist and kills him first.
Yeah. Frankenstein. That's the lesson of the Frankenstein thing. Your monster will eventually turn on you.
Yeah. Celia's got a great
point.
Don't
you really deserve it? Don't you really deserve that? You really deserve that to happen if you're going to fool around with monsters, That's the par for the course.
Yep. It's absolutely absurd the way things are going. And, as if we don't have enough on our plate to worry about with the super volcano and all the wildfires going on, and all the earthquakes, they have to throw, CERN in our face, and then the fact that we're being genetically messed with and experimented on. That's why a lot of people have that theory that we are just we're basically like a petri dish. We're not a globe, we're a petri dish. We're the science experiment. We're like the little sea people that they sold back in the 1960s and 70s in the comics, where you put them in water and they're actually like little shrimp. And have your own
sea monkeys.
Sea people. Yeah, sea monkeys. That
sea
was
monkeys.
It. And that's what we are. We're the sea monkeys, people. Okay, we're the sea monkeys. We're the experiment. Okay.
Certain forces definitely look upon us that way. Certain forces do definitely, and like I've said, as a demonologist, I've studied that this goes back clear to the beginning of mankind. That certain evil forces wanted to manipulate mankind. They wanted to screw around with our DNA. That's where you get the Nephilim and all that. I'm not going to get into that today, but I mean, this is not just something that started recent. This goes all the way back from the beginning, folks, of mankind's history.
Right. Right. Um, not to put more stress on everybody right now, but Celia, I guess she's in Ireland. Let me see here. Where'd she say she was from? Yeah, she's Irish. So yeah, Ireland. I just found out today. One thing that amazes me today is, good morning, Val. Is that I just found out that Ireland doesn't have a air force, so they depend on the UK to monitor their airspace over their country, and that there was an incident earlier, whether it was yesterday or the day before, where Russia's sending in these bombers um, to test how fast their response time is to get to where they are from the UK. So they're testing. They're going around and as if we need more to worry about. Okay, here is millions upon millions upon millions of innocent people being sucked into some stupid, asinine way of thinking about how they're going to solve the world problem by killing each other is ridiculous. So
they did that just recently with some ships in Alaska. They came into our almost right on the very edge of our. They're testing us, and why are they testing us? You got to ask that question. Why? Because some fool like old Putin, all he's got to do is step one mark over the line, and NATO will be all over him. You've got World War III already, just waiting to happen, and all he's got to do is one wrong missile, one wrong ship, whatever. They've already taken down one of our drones. You remember that? And they've done stuff to other drones. This idiot is playing around with World War III, folks. I hate to say that, and I know Ukraine is not perfect, and I understand all that, but this idiot is playing around with World War III. That's what makes me nervous,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's getting to the point where it's getting utterly ridiculous. We have enough on our plates as just normal, everyday people trying to live their existence as peacefully and as happily as possible. We have enough to deal with on our plate with even natural disasters. Now we got to worry about man-made ones too all the time. It's getting absolutely absurd the way the world is going. And I really wish CERN would turn the dial back, okay, and put us back to where we came from. Not the time frame we're in right now, because they've really got it screwed up. So I don't know. Just my thought.
Reminds me of the old video game things, the way they used to end. Remember, Geryl? Game over.
Yep.
I'm beginning to wonder if that's going to happen, you know?
So I wonder how the people in our old timeline are living. Are they just chucking along, having a good old life like we used to, or?
Yeah, the good old days.
I wish I could answer.
That's what I said to somebody the other day. I am actually a stranger in a strange land. I don't even know what this world. This is not the world I was born into, or the world I grew up in. I don't know where I'm at anymore. This is a strange land, definitely.
And the worst part about it too, guys, is it's going to come down to there's going to be two classes of citizens, okay? And I'm not talking the poor and the rich. I'm talking, and I'm not talking the black or the white. I'm not talking Republican or Democrat. What I'm talking is the vaxxed and the unvaxxed. Okay. And, the way it's currently going, it looks like the unvaxxed is the healthier choice. When you look at some of the stuff going on nowadays with all these sudden illnesses and stuff that are happening and all these strokes and stuff, it's scary stuff. It really is.
Well,
And a lot of the mainstream media has just started covering it.
Well, I talked about that on my Demonology Today show last week, and I'm going to be continuing part 2 on it this tomorrow night. The war on Christianity, which has got a lot of this. I talked about the 7 steps of hell, and I'm also going to read these off in case people didn't catch that show. These are the 7 steps that they're working on here. Okay, right quick, I'm going to read them to you. Step 1, manipulation. Step 2, disinformation. Step 3, dehumanization. Step 4, cancellation. Step 5, depopulation. Step 6, termination. Step 7, domination. And that's what this whole plan is coming down to. That's the whole thing in one ball of wax, you might say, is what this is coming down to. That's their plan. That's the way they're going to implement it. That's the way you're seeing it taking place right now in front of your very eyes. That's what's going on here. And it's not just and let me stress this. It's not just the war on Christianity, folks. It's the war on the Muslims. It's the war on the Hindus. It's the war on everybody, okay? No matter what religion you are, no matter what your beliefs are, even if you're an atheist. It's a war on you. It's a war on humanity. That's what it is. And that's what they're up to. That's their plan.
Yeah, literally.
And it's going to end. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally that, and they're basing that off. They're actually, yeah, exactly, and if they can't control you with their fear projections and stuff, as far as their Project Blue Beam or their MK Ultra mind control stuff, like the Manchurian Candidate, if they can't cover it up or lie to you, they'll kill you. Yeah, pretty much. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
So, they have a saying in the CIA, and that's when somebody gets basically sentenced to be eradicated. They call it time to make them wet, and what it means is make them wet is wet with red blood. So in other words, kill them. So,
termination.
And unfortunately, I think that a lot of what's going on today is to get rid of a lot of the masses. I really do.
And that's what we, talked about before, William, about AI. They're going to weaponize AI. I think it's already been compromised. We just don't know it to that extent. But the governments of the world, not just our government, have got a hold of AI. The Chinese have it. The Russians have it. The Iranians and the North Koreans have it. Everybody's got it. It's going to be weaponized. That's just another formidable weapon in their arsenal. That's That's the part about the dehumanization.
Yeah, I'm just
pet worms,
reading Celia's comment about maybe she could start a business selling pet worms. Yeah, because we're sea monkeys too. So, yeah, that was the thing back in the 60s and 70s in comic books. Now, that sea monkeys, that was the thing. You could
Oh,
you
yeah.
couldn't get to a back page of a comic book and not see that advertised, you know. So, of course, the timeline
Well,
that we're in right now, you find a comic book, you wouldn't even see it anymore.
what is let me ask you, both of you guys, a question. Just curious to see what your answers will be. What do you think when it comes down to the end? What the true food source on this planet will actually be when all the animals are gone, when we've decimated the insect population? What's the food source going to remain?
Us.
Exactly. People will be eating people.
Yeah.
And here, and listen, I want you to go on. Listen to this. I want you to go on the internet and look around. Just type in cannibalism. Okay, they got recipes for human meat on here. Okay, I'm not kidding. This cannibalism, which is once a very taboo thing in almost every culture on this planet, is now starting to look good to these guys. Okay, and why are they in Hollywood serving meals off of people's bodies laying on tables? Are they not trying to getting you ready for the real
that all
main
comes
course?
down to the fact that I think. They're starting to mess with us. They're starting to mess with us. I lost sound.
Well, everybody go out there and watch Soylent Green today.
Oh, come on.
Well, I can still hear all you guys.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm hearing you fine, man. Got no problem. You don't hear us, William? You don't hear anything?
Oh.
Can't hear us? William lost his sound.
I can't.
Yeah, must
hear.
be just your earbuds.
We can hear.
I can hear
Geryl.
Microphone.
You don't have sound.
I'm using the
we can hear
microphone.
you. We can hear you, but you can't hear us.
Hold on. Let me go into my settings. Let me go into my settings.
Anyway, that's what the original food source is going to be, I think, in the end. We're going to be eating each other. And I think certain forces, Geryl, and I'm not going to get onto the subject today because it's a very dark subject. Cannibalism and some of their is in some of their rituals and stuff. You know, they're all up for this kind of stuff. That's eventually what it's going to lead to. That's what it would lead to.
Yeah,
definitely. Hello.
Okay, I think I'm back. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right.
Somehow or another, my microphone got shut off, and my speaker got shut off on the computer. So.
Huh.
Yeah, we could still hear you the whole time. It's just you couldn't hear us, I guess.
Yeah, you couldn't hear us. Yeah.
I was getting bits and pieces. I was getting like every other fourth word, you know. So it was like
choppy, real choppy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just went in and reset everything. So hopefully that'll fix it. But yeah, every time we start talking sensitive subjects, man, something always happens.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of. It's not a coincidence. Definitely, there are no such things as coincidences.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, I told everybody to go out and watch Soylent Green and Logan's Run today. Catch up on what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's going to lead up to eventually. That's what they're getting us ready for. And I'll tell you something. And I've seen a lot of evidence, and we've talked about the reptilians and all that over the years. I've seen a lot of evidence that that's what reptilians are all for, eating human beings. That's part of their food source. That's part of their power. And they not only, here's the thing about it, they're not only using that as sort of a nutritious thing, but also it's part of their spiritual power. How can you consume something completely? It becomes part of you. That's the ultimate domination over something. Yeah, I remember Jeffrey Dahmer, wasn't it, that said he liked to eat people because he brought them into his being.
Yep.
Weird stuff, but that's the way they look at this in a spiritual way. Cannibalism can be spiritualistic. Think about it. It's wild.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah,
And
that whole in
the
an
demonic definitely, the demonic has a strong tie to cannibalism, folks. So par for the course again.
yes, it does. It does. Oh, well, it's good to see Joey Z on here and Pyromedic. Thank you for being on here. Um, good to see you guys. Let's see here. Who else we got in here?
It's the vibrations, Pyromedic, that make the worms come out of the ground. The electricity kind of vibrates the ground. If you can vibrate the ground, you can get them to come out. I've seen people do that before. They used to, I think, would beat the ground with sticks. It would beat the ground with sticks, would make worms come out too. I've seen them do that.
Yeah, real heavy rain will do it too.
We used to put the sprinkler out as kids, and at night, man, they would just come up, and we just grab them by the buckets full to go fishing the next day.
Yep. Yeah, my father always taught me to add water to the ground to make them come out at night because they're going to. They
do come out when it rains. If you notice that, whenever there's a heavy rain, you see a lot of worms come out. Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, well,
early bird gets the worm, right?
Yep.
Or the night owl.
About that time.
Oh yeah. He's the one who really gets the worm. The night owl.
Yeah. Nice. That was smooth. That was really smooth, man. Which reminds
if you like
me,
worms.
Anybody that wants stickers, send me your mailing address to my email, okay? Because I still have some of our podcast channel stickers and stuff I can give out until they're gone. And I did pick up more patches.
William, I still have more of your stickers patches. And more of ours.
Yeah. Oh.
So I can send you more if you need.
I did pick up more patches. So, but
yeah, I like that patch.
Dennis. Yeah, I'm gonna send you one, Dennis. Okay, and G,
yeah,
I'm gonna send you
That's
one also. So,
I'll send you my address.
But yeah,
I need that for my jacket. Definitely.
Yeah. Like I said, I've got it on my military jacket on that sleeve. So, but and then I've got the stay weird patch above it, like we do in the Navy, where you have the name of the ship above your rank. So, all right. Well, I'll be coming on tomorrow with you guys. And what would you guys like to discuss tomorrow? I'm going to put it in your lap because I just, it's been hectic here this last week, and I've been having a lot of physical situations happening that I'm not having an easy time with right now. So any suggestions out there from the chat group or anything like that would be greatly appreciated, or from you guys.
I got an interesting subject. I've got an interesting subject we might discuss. Orbs. When you talk about orbs, what do you think about that?
Okay. Yeah,
That's actually a good subject. Yeah. Okay, well then tomorrow will be orbs, and let's see here. Ozzy Sue remembers sea monkeys. Yeah, you know, and I wonder how
We
many
could,
people actually nowadays would be able to find an older in this time frame and see that advertisement if it's still there, because that'd be almost like a Mandela effect if it's not in the back of the comic books anymore. You know what I mean? So it'd be kind of curious to see, you know.
Right.
there's a one interesting orb that I was going to mention that we can discuss tomorrow. Have you ever heard of black orbs? They're like a hole, and they appear in different places. You ever heard of that?
No.
We'll
Would it be
talk
like
about that tomorrow.
No,
It's
I
a
haven't.
fascinating subject. They call them the
Okay.
black or dark orbs.
Yeah. Oh, Overbuilt's on here. I'm sorry. That's the one person I forgot to add a thank you to for being here, Overbuilt. And Bigfoot Michigan Rob was in here for a brief second. He's probably still listening. Um, but yeah, thank you all for being here. We will be back on tomorrow at 10 a.m. and we're going to be discussing orbs and other weird paranormal crap. So, anyway,
Those
I'm
orbs
out
are
of
around.
coffee. Empty. And Tracy wanted me and I wanted to bring it up too. This again, if anybody can find it, I'm going to go on Chewy and see if I can find it there. But
Is
we're
that the
out of it again
moist?
locally.
Is that
Yeah,
moist?
it's it's the filet mignon flavor pedigree. It's the
Okay.
pedigree.
I don't know why you can't find that up there. You know,
That would be
pedigree
greatly
used to be a
appreciated.
very well known brand. That's crazy.
It's just made up in Pennsylvania. You'd think we would have it here, but every time we go to the Dollar General or the Food Lion or something up here, or Walmart, they don't have it. It's never in stock. And another thing we can't find too is, because we feed the feral cats around here too, all the kittens and stuff, so we get them oh God, what's it called? Not the meow. Well, we get them meow mix when we can't find
little
the other.
little friskies or what's that other one? Meow mix. Meow mix is the one.
Yeah. Meow mix is what we usually get. And we can't find that up here either. It's like the other day we went to the grocery store. Me and Dylan went to the grocery store, and we couldn't find the celery that was in the produce section. Looked terrible. Lettuce was obsolete, and the bags of salad lettuce were actually almost brown. So I don't know what's going on. We had.
Well, you do know one big trucking company has gone out of business. Yellow Trucking has completely went bankrupt and gone out of business, and they say that's going to affect the supply lines.
That
maybe
all the
already
good stuff's going down in the tunnels.
Great. Yeah.
I used to have my dog used to love. My dog used to love Alpo treats, little Alpo treats, and you can't find them anymore. They just completely disappeared, completely gone. And you used to get like 10 bags for $10 on these little things. He loved them, but you can't find them anymore.
Yeah.
There's weird stuff going on with
And then
supplies and all
if you find stuff like that, you have to make sure even in the grocery stores nowadays, I found out that they're not removing the out of date product off the shelves.
No.
They're all they're doing is they're pulling it forward to try and sell it before the stuff behind it goes out of date.
Yeah,
You know,
Yep.
I've seen that. Yeah,
it never used. Yeah, it never used to be like that. You know, you'd be able to go and
here's
find a
another
can of
thing.
soup that would last till 2000.
Here's another thing. I saw a cartoon on this the other day, and they got a meeting in the grocery store. So, okay, all the customers know where everything is now, so let's change everything around. And it seems like they
Yeah.
do that a lot. You know, you go in and it's not there anymore. It's way over there somewhere, and they put weird stuff together. You know, like the peanut butter is with something else. You know, I mean, it's weird stuff. I think they're playing a
And
little game with us.
I've noticed too. Yeah, I've noticed too that a lot of the name brand products have been replaced with third world country products.
Yeah.
I don't know if
you have to be
noticed.
very careful. If you buy meat nowadays, and listen to this, I warn everybody out there listening, make sure you get field fed, grain fed meat. And you got to be very careful because there's a lot of meat coming out of Mexico and places around like that. That's like you said, the third world kind of thing. You're getting meat from South America coming up here. Why is that? Well, I mean, we have all these cattle barons here in this country with all this cattle and everything. Why are we getting imported meat? It's crazy.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah. And then they're cloning meat too now to eat. They're growing meat in labs. I don't know about you all, but I'd I would rather put my head up a steer's ass to see what kind of steaks I can select than to go and buy it from a biolab. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I mean,
the thing about it is,
it's absolutely absurd.
Remember while we were all watching that submersible, you know, and it imploded and all that, we were watching all that. The government signed a contract or put it in the law that they can now give us lab meat and they don't have to tell us what it is.
Lab meat and chicken. Yeah. And they don't have to label it as such either. That was the main thing. You don't have to have. And here's another thing. Like I said about the meat, grass fed or grain fed. You look for poultry that is called field poultry. In other words, it's sort of regular chickens walking around out in something, feeding off of that. Not what they're sticking them full of hormones and all that stuff in the chicken houses. You got to be very careful what you're eating of. They are manipulating everything, and now, like Geryl said, they don't have to label it as such. That's part of the UN thing too. Part of the UN charter is why they agree. Biden has agreed to a lot of this stuff that we don't know about. Of course, I don't know if he knows where he's at anyway.
No, don't get me going on that. Yeah. That's. I'm telling you though, everybody's got it. Y'all need to go watch that movie with Jamie Foxx, the new one where he just put out.
I've seen it
before he became ill. Okay. It's a movie that will wake you up beyond belief, man. It's
are you
really
talking about you are talking about the one that's called They Clone Tyrone? Is that the one you're talking about? They clone Tyrone?
Yes. Yep. Yeah,
I've seen it.
Really good.
Freaky.
Good scenario.
Freaky.
Good. Yeah, yeah, I mean, if you can put up with a 70s style type of setting, and you'll see, obviously they had to get the storyline from MK Ultra and all the other stuff that was going on at
And
that time,
in the
and
movie,
probably going on still
William,
today.
in the movie, William, I think isn't there a secret underground lab under Walmart or someplace like that? I think it was. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was under a church.
Yeah, under a church somewhere. Yeah. Freaky movie, yes.
Yeah, it
They
definitely
cloned
it makes you
Tyrone.
think. Yep, it makes you think. You guys need to watch that. Seriously, everybody in the chat, you need to watch that movie just to check it out. It's on Netflix right now. So
Celia,
if you get a chance.
bees are very important, Celia. Without bees, we will probably all die, really. I mean, they pollinate everything. And without bees, we'd be in big trouble. My grandfather was a beekeeper. He had a lot of hives. And one time when I was a little kid, I went down there and knocked on the door to see if they were home. And I got stung like over 100 times. They don't mess with bees. they don't like you to mess with them. I kind of respect them now. But without bees, we would all be in big trouble. They're a very important part of nature, and I respect the bees definitely. Well, we got Crystal
There's Raven
Hippie
Creek
Chick
Charms.
here.
She's now known as Crystal Hippie Chick. Awesome. Good to have you back, dear. I still don't know what the heck happened that time. So
somebody really doesn't like that
house.
name, Raven Creek. Somebody didn't really like that name. I don't think that's what it was. They had it in for you, Raven Creek.
And Aunt Edna's here. Okay, good to see everybody. Oh, let's see. We have got, well, I guess they're just going to have to watch the whole program again and figure out what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So I don't want to just, now we're going to talk about orbs tomorrow. So
orbs.
I'll disclose it. Yeah, I'll disclose it. And of course, other weird stuff. Orbs is where we're going to start at. Where we end up at is totally different.
Who knows where to end?
Knows where it'll be. All I know is I'm running for this. This is my office I'm running for. So vote for me as Alien Dad of the Year. Anyways, we will see everybody tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Okay. We love you all very much. Keep the faith, question everything. And, if you got the weird stories or weird news that you want to announce, we got the new day at p.m. Eastern, whether it's UFO related, cryptid related, ghost related, or just something weird in general that you want to report that's related, that you think is newsworthy, send me an email, okay? lakotaman333@gmail.com, or send an email to Dennis, because
ghostwolfdc@gmail.com.
Yep. ghostwolfdc@gmail.com. Okay. And we've got our roving reporter there, Grandmaster G. We're going to get him his own little microphone, and it'll probably be like one of them cordless microphones like you'd see on like Sesame Street. Where it's gold and it's got the fuzzy on it, and
oh yeah.
But we're gonna have it with his Midwest Night Watchers emblem on the staff of it, so when he holds it, it's like that, and he can report, about UFOs and stuff. So that'd be cool.
He'd be our field man, outstanding in his field.
That would be cool. So I'm gonna have to check into that. That would be fun to just to find something like that. So But anyways, we will see you all tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. It's been a very long week for me. If you can, like, heart, and share this out as much as you can, because every time you share it, it helps. If you can, keep us all in your prayers. Crystal Hippie Chick, we're glad you're back. I'm still going to call you Raven Creek, though. Oh,
Don't
and Edna
confuse
got her
everybody.
stickers. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. We I don't know. That's the other thing that's screwy too, is the mail. I don't know if you guys have had problems with it, but we've had a lot of problem with mail lately. So, as far as getting mail on time and out on time. So, but that's something for another day. Everybody have a great Saturday. Just go outside, take a deep breath if you're not in a smog area and, or a smoky area from all the wildfires, and just kind of release all that tension, because I hate to say it,
Don't do
everybody, it's probably
anything.
going to get worse.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, don't get caught at it.
Don't forget, this weekend is the prime time for the meteor shower, so keep looking up. Who knows what you'll see?
Yeah. Hopefully that CME won't hit us at the same exact time. You know about that, right?
Oh yeah.
Here, I'll put a picture of it up. I'll put a picture of it up. That's going to be on the news broadcast too, but it's probably going to be late compared to the timing of everything. But yeah, here's what I'm talking about. It's the coronal mass ejection, and how it affects Earth, and it's going to affect all that. And Seattle's going to have a lot of earthquakes. Look at all the earthquakes in Seattle. I mean, it's just amazing. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going to be talked about. So, we got to do something, folks. Our planet is just blowing apart. It really is. But anyways, everybody, you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your coffee or whatever you're drinking. Stay out of trouble. Keep your head down and keep your faith. Okay, stand in your faith. Stand strong in your faith. Okay. So, other than that, keep your heads up. Hold your heads up proud. You guys are Weirdo Warriors. You're our family, and without you, we are not even going to do any good. So you are the driving force. So always remember that. Thank you to the moderators, very much. I appreciate it. So Raven Creek Charms, I'm going to have to put you back in as a moderator under your new name. So, but I will. Okay, we'll probably do that tomorrow. All right, I'm extremely winded, extremely tired. Health wise, I haven't been doing very well. And Tracy hasn't either, really. She's struggling too. Hard time breathing. So, if you can, just keep us in your prayers. Okay. Thank you all very much, and we will see you all tomorrow morning.
Mom made $10.